All the plans are done by the top level, that is planning is all done here. Delegating means what? Transferring of authority and responsibility to one person to another person who have more responsibility. B dash have more responsibility over A dash as well as he'll have responsibility over C dash. At the end of the day, what happens is the work is done by grouping and subgrouping. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidyashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to the new chapter, that is organizing and staffing. Students, you need to understand that this organizing and staffing is a chapter 3. Now we are done with the first 2 chapters. If you have any doubt regarding those chapters, please call us, message us. We are always there to help you. Now we are going with the first session of the 3rd chapter, that is organizing and staffing. So when we go with the introduction of it, what exactly organizing is all about? Organizing is bringing together physical resources, manpower and finance to accomplish the desired objectives set by the top level management. But here you need to understand that everything should be in organized format, because an organization without organizing will be incomplete. So here organizing is that managerial process. It's a process. See, planning is a process. Organizing is a process, staffing is a process, directing is a process, and controlling is a process, which seeks to define the role of each individual. I was telling you about manpower planning, that is, each individual will be actually given the task or division of work. Now, manager and operator. Now, I'll tell you more about what exactly manager is, who is an operator, and the things here you need to understand is common is a manager is a person who will get the things done through the operators and towards the attainment of enterprise objectives. That means who will actually set the objective? The objective is set by the top level management. So when we understand this top level management, here we have this 3 tiers commonly, that is top management, that is top level, then we have middle level, and the last one is supervisory level. Here what happens is all the plans are done by the top level, that is planning is all done here. And after that, what they do is they transfer it to the middle level, that is you people need to get the work done. So that there is a place where the middle level is there and manager will be in the middle level. And manager will guide the supervisor level. What will he do is he'll guide the supervisor level, and supervisor level are the people who get the work done efficiently and effectively. So this is what happens in the entire organization. And when you understand this, it is establishing authority, responsibility, relationship among all, and providing for coordination. See, there should be a coordination, there should be a proper communication, and there should be a bond of brotherhood whenever you work together. That is, a team spirit should be there. In the enterprises has inbuilt device for obtaining harmonious groups action. So this is what organizing is all about. So we got to know that organizing, what all happens is the planning is once done, the next process is called as organizing, because we say that has functions of management. See, organizing comes under the functions of management. After planning, you have the second function, that is called organizing. Here what happens is we organize 3 things. One is the manpower planning, second is finance, and the third is physical resources, to accomplish what? Accomplish the organizational objectives. So that is where organizing will be implemented. Definition of organizing. Now we have 2 definitions by Kuntz and O'Donnell, and we have Lewis A. Allen. Now what these people say is organizing is the establishment of authority relationship. Now here, if you understand authority relationship, you will get to know that when we go with the levels of management, right? Now please understand, I'll be giving you the employees status as well. That is, we have A here, B, C, and say D. And here we have B dash, C dash, and D. Now understand the authority of organizing. what it establishes. Now here A has more authority over B, B will have more authority over C, and C will have more authority over D. When you understand this authority very clearly, authority flows from top to bottom. Whereas the same way, D dash here, D dash will have responsibility towards C dash, C dash will have responsibility over B dash, responsibility, B dash will have responsibility over A dash, that is responsibility. That means responsibility, it flows from bottom to top, that is from down to upwards. So here you need to understand each and everybody are organized in a structure. That's why management is always called as a military concept, and organizing is also one of the military concepts which we are supposed to know. Now, Kuhns and O'Donnell says organizing is the establishment of authority relationship with provision for coordination between them, both vertically and horizontally in the enterprise structure. When you understand here, what happens is there are two types of structure which I was telling you. One is you have the vertical format as well as you have the horizontal format. So both the structures we can see in organizing. Next we have what Lewis Allen says is organizing is the process. See, everybody says it is a process of identifying and grouping the work to be performed. Then again he says defining and delegating. When the word delegating comes, you are supposed to know that delegating means what? Transferring of authority and responsibility to one person to another person, but it is temporary. Delegating the responsibility and authority and establishing a pattern of relationship. There is again a pattern of relationship. Example here. Now A will go to some other work in USA. Now these people are in India and he has a work in USA. When he goes there, now he need to give delegation to his immediate subordinates. Now the immediate subordinate will act according to what A says, and then they will get the duties or the responsibility done by the remaining people. That is what the delegation of authority and responsibility is all about. And here there is a relationship. Enabling people work most efficiently, that is efficiently to accomplish the objective. The main image here, the main process here which you people should know is the one thing what they are very much particular is what? To get the objective done. That is what happens in organizing. So both Kuhns and O'Donnell and Lewis Allen, what they say is organizing is what? It is all about authority and responsibility. Next we have the functions of organizing. So understand the functions of organizing and the process of organizing. So what exactly the functions of organizing is? Why organizing is used? What are the process of organizing? So to know more about the functions of organizing, you are supposed to know about the process of organizing. It is divided into the following things. The first one here is you need to determination of the total workload. What exactly the workload is, you are supposed to identify it. That is the first process for manpower planning, to give them the proper work. What is the workforce you are supposed to get? What is the total workload? Secondly is what? Grouping. Now you got to know what is the total workload, then you are supposed to group them and you are supposed to go with subgrouping of activities. So that is also done. That is one is what? How many work and what are the people, what exactly they are supposed to do. That is what you have grouped them. Second thing is you are go with grouping and subgrouping. What is the priority? Which one is the first priority? So you'll go with grouping. And the next one, what should be the following? So you'll go with subgrouping. Next is creation of managerships. Now you are supposed to have managers in those departments. Then what is that you are supposed to do? Through delegation of authority. That means transferring of authority, responsibility and accountability. Next is after that you will go with division of work. Division of work means what? You will give a proper work to a proper person. That is what division of work is. If you go back to Henry Fayol 14th principle, that the first word itself says what the 14th principle is: division of work. Within the department setup of human organization, that is within the division setups, what really happens is you will give them the work. Now they are supposed to work that same thing, and then what happens is they get specialized in that. Next is arrangement of physical facility. Now here they are talking about physical resources. Now physical facility for accomplishment of the objective. Next one and the last one is, now they'll go with definition and establishment of authority responsibility relationship. That means now they'll give them the work, that is, who is the top prior person, who is the person who should be responsible to him. Now what happens is the same way here. Now workload is all done. Now who should actually listen to whom? So all these things will be actually given. So authority, who has the authority according to our example? Now C dash have more authority over A dash and B dash. Who have more responsibility? B dash have more responsibility over A dash, as well as he'll have responsibility over C dash. So this is what they'll be defining the authority and responsibility. So these are the process of organizing. The first one is determination of total workload. What exactly the total workload is, they need to calculate. They need to calculate. Second is, you need to group and subgroup all these activities, that is creation of departmentation. Next is creation of managership through delegation of authority. Now you will actually give who is the boss. Right now C dash is the boss for A dash and A dash is a boss for B dash. That is how you will create the managership. Next is division of work. You will give them proper work so that they'll work more. And next is arrangement of physical facility. You are supposed to give them the physical resources as well, so that they can get the work efficiently and effectively. Lastly is, you will define a proper establishment of authority and responsibility. So the first one here, the total workload is how you will calculate. The workload, whenever you understand, student, the total workload, please understand this. Whenever we go with total workload, you will get an idea that the very first step, that is the first step in the process of organizing, is to make a determination of all the activity, what all are the activities you are supposed to get it done, which are necessary to be undertaken for the attainment of the enterprise objective. This step of organizing is in fact nothing but an estimation of total workload that must be done to realize or to get that objective. Say example, I'll give you an example. Morning 9 o'clock the company starts and 4 o'clock the company ends, but that is only the working hour. Company will be there for perpetual succession, that is 24/7. The work will always go, but it is that work hours which you are supposed to play, and then you are supposed to get the result for the next day also. So as a manager, what the manager does is, what are the works to be done, he'll calculate. That is what the first process of organizing. After that, what happens is, now say example here, 55 files to be completed. Now 55 files to be completed. I'm just giving an example of a MNC company. Now that 55 files, whichever was supposed to be done, now what he does is, he'll go with manpower planning. That is, how many people are required. Manpower planning. That means what? How many people are required. Now when they go for manpower planning, now he'll get to know there are, say, 4 people. Now the 4 people need to get that 55 files. Now again here what happens is, he'll go with grouping and subgrouping. I'll teach you how to group and how to go with subgrouping. The second process here is what? Grouping and subgrouping. Now total activity determined by the achieving enterprise objective must be classified. Now we have classified that 55 files to be completed by 4 employees. Okay, now 4 employees, done. Putting similar or related activity at one place in form of group or subgroup. Now we got to know, in that 55 files, say 22 files, it goes to 2 people, and the remaining, whoever it is, right, the remaining actually goes to 2 more. Now what happened? We have grouped those 2 things. Now again what happens is, here now 2 people cannot finish the 22 files, right? Now whichever is a majority, they'll do it first. Later what happens is, again they'll hire more people, that is again manpower planning will be done, so that other extra people will come and they'll finish the remaining. That is, this step of organizing directly leads to the process of creating departments. So those 2 people, whoever are there here, now they'll create a department. They'll create their own department. When they create their own department, now understand what happens is, say this is A. Now he'll have 2 more people under him. Now there is one more person called B. Now B will also create two more people under him, right? So here what happens is they themselves are creating a department so that they will achieve the 22 files completed within 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or that particular day. If an enterprise is compared to a building, the creation of department within it would be amount of constructions of rooms within the building, each room meant for specified special purposes. Now they have given their own example of a construction house, so I'm giving you a different one, that is like 22 files. Now 22 files, what happens is here 11 files A will take and 11 files B will take. Now here what happens, 5 files will be taken by one person, 6 files will be taken by somebody else. Same way here, 6 and 5. At the end of the day, what happens is the work is done by grouping and subgrouping. Next one is managerial shift. Now what exactly we did when we went with the managerial shift? Now I told you, right? Now there was this person A and there was this person B. Now here we had one more, that is 6 files. Here we had something called 5. I'm just giving a random one. Again here 5 we had, and again we had 6. Now totally 11 and 11 is 22. Now what exactly does A and B form? They formed as a managerial shift through the delegation of authority. Delegation means authority and responsibility is given to 6 and 5 and 5 and 6. So after the scheme of departmentation is finalized, the next step in the process of organizing would be entrust the responsibility for the functioning of each department. Now A and B became a manager for 6 and 5 files. Now let me give a name called, say here it is X and here Y, here Z and here say it is S. Now those people, now X and Y will be what? They'll have a responsibility over A. A will have authority over X and Y. So creation of managership in this manner requires a requisite, that is delegation of authority to each manager to enable manager to take care of the job assigned to him. So whatever X and Y will be doing, who will actually look into the action? That is A, and A will actually form a managerial ship. After that, what happens is the division of work will be allotted. Division of work means what? You are giving the work to the same person because he'll get specialized in that. That is called division of work. And you will be breaking each and everything into pieces and then you will give it so that they can work efficiently. Since no single individual can undertake the performance of the whole of the work assigned. See, earlier we had how much? We had 55 files. Then what happened is it was given to say A and B. Now what really happened here, if you're A dash and B dash, say example. Now A dash have taken it, that is he has taken 22 files. Now he took people called A and B and he has given 11 here, 11 here. Now we got what? Now A took 11. Now A has also done a managerial shift and he had given it to X and Y. Now what happened? 11 was given to A. Now A will distribute it into 5 and 6, or he can go with 6 or 5. Now anything he'll actually go with it. So understand that one particular task was divided to the right chain like this. The remaining will be done by whom? By here. He will take somebody else. So these are called as division of work. Now here also X and Y, whoever it is, even they can take 2 more people. That is again manpower planning will happen, managerial shift will happen, division of work will happen. Now 2 and 3 somebody can do it. The ultimately what it is, the thing is you are supposed to get the work done. So here becomes necessary to restart so that the total job can be done. As a result to undertake division of work of all department, there emerges a human organization within the enterprise. So this is what the human organization is happening. Next we have is what? The physical facility should be given. Each individual of the enterprise working in whatever capacity in any department must need the basic physical facilities, that is raw material, machine, tools, technology, and other inputs for the proper execution of the assigned task. Now 22 tasks, 55 tasks became 22 tasks for one particular group. Again, the 22 became 11. Now 11 became 5 and 6. But those people need some basic tools. So you are supposed to give them the basic tools for the achievement of the goal. When physical facilities are made available to all personnel, when I say the word personnel, that means what? Personnel means staff. In all department, there emerges a material organization or physical technical organization within the enterprises. So here what happens is, whatever you people do, without giving the physical resources, the people cannot achieve the goal which was decided by the top level management. Lastly is what? You go with division of work, that is establishment of authority and responsibility. So here responsibility relationship, that is authority and responsibility relationship will be there. How? Having created managership and human organization within the enterprise, it becomes necessary to devise a system which provides for defining the establishment of authority responsibility relationship among all personnel, manager and operator. Now what happened? I gave you, right, the example here. Now this 55 was there, it was given, so 22, now again it was given, that is 11 and 11. Now there is a authority as well as responsibility. Now this person who had that 55 files, he have authority over 22 files, over 11, over 11. Now this is called as human relation as well as the authority and responsibility chart. So hope students you have got to know what exactly this process of organizing is, the meaning and definition. If you have any doubt regarding this, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you.